Shan has an altitude of 253 meters and lies in Hong Kong's central and western district. Only in 1998, the government designated the area as Shan Country Park. It is the smallest country park in Hong Kong. As Shan is close to the city, a lot of morning walkers are drawn to it. After it was designated as a country park, its ecological environment largely improved.
Although this country park occupies a small area, it is a very distinctive place. If you would like to visit, you can take public transportation to Coatwall Road, walk along Shan Morning Trail, and you will then enter the Shan Country Park area. We can take a stroll to Coatwall Road or through the war ruins of Pinewood Battery. Head towards Shan Waterfall and leave via the trail to Pok Fu Lam Road. Hello, Felix.
Hey, hello.
Hello. Felix works in the Agricultural Fisheries and Conservation Department in charge of the Freshwater Fish Work Group. He'll take us to observe the ecology of the streams.
What kind of things will we see today?
Right, though we're called the Freshwater Fish Work Group, we don't just survey the fish in the streams, we also survey other animals like shrimps and crabs. In fact, in the various streams within Hong Kong's country parks, there is precious ecology that can be found. So today, I'll take you around and show you the area. But before we begin, here's a friendly reminder. We don't recommend park visitors to get into the stream. So all that aside, I brought along special equipment. You can use these binoculars today.
Great,
Give them
thanks. Instead of going into the stream, I'll use these to
Yes,
look.
meanwhile, I'll go take some great photos for you so you can learn about what creatures can be found in the stream.
So what should I be looking for with the binoculars?
Well, what we usually do is we use binoculars to observe the area around us. First, we'll see what kind of creatures like fish, or maybe shrimp or crabs and the like can be found around us. We want to get a rough picture before we actually get close to the stream to look.
To reduce the disturbance, right?
Yes, they're quite sensitive. If you just charge in, you'll definitely disturb the wildlife.
Yes, I
Are
understand.
the shrimps and crabs as big as those we see for sale in the market? Why do you need these if the shrimp are all that big?
Well, freshwater animals are usually quite small in size. So with that in mind, try your best to look around with the binoculars I lent you to see if there are any special creatures, and I'll take some great pictures for you guys.
Understood.
Understood.
I think I should ask Felix, what am I looking at right now?
And he'd say, "You're looking at me. I'm the only one in your eyes."
Felix, I see a really big Felix fish.
You are
I don't
so
know what I'm
simple.
talking about. Oh, you want to look?
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Hey, I got something.
What is it?
A Caridina shrimp.
For real?
Let me take a picture for you.
All right, great.
Thanks a lot, Felix.
He's a pro.
Looking through these makes my eyes sore.
Whoa! It's a big one.
Yeah, this shrimp is really huge, isn't it? What is it called?
It's called Caridina serrata. Can
Oh.
you guess why we call it that?
'Cause it's knife-shaped?
You're actually correct. When eating shrimps, you might notice their long rostrum.
Right.
Caridina serrata, as the name suggests, has many small, sharp teeth on its rostrum. It kind of looks like a knife. That's where the name comes from.
In fact, it is quite pretty. I like how it's semi-transparent.
Up until now, we have recorded around 10 species of Caridina shrimp living in and around Hong Kong. Don't let the photo fool you into thinking that it is fully transparent, as there are a few black stripes on it. Actually, Caridina shrimps are often found to have different stripes or carapace colors. Some of them are black, some of them are blue, or even a sort of metallic color. Those ones have a high ornamental value. They're also known as crystal shrimp.
Oh.
At the same time, this little shrimp actually plays an important role in the stream. Can you guess what it is?
They are scavengers? They're scavenging animals.
Yes, well, actually, it all comes down to what they eat. They consume small organic matter and support nutrient recycling. We should note that Caridina shrimps generally thrive in healthy, clean, and clear flowing streams. Therefore, if such shrimps are seen in the stream, the water quality should be quite good. Water flow and temperature are important for them. At the sections of the stream with continuous flow, the water temperature will be relatively balanced usually, which makes a suitable place for breeding. Speaking of breeding, how often do you think they breed?
Once a month.
I'd guess once a year.
Well, Caridina shrimps breed around once every 2 months.
Oh.
While breeding, they have a very special movement or action. This action occurs after mating. The female shrimp
Right.
actually stores the fertilized eggs in its abdominal appendage. So, maybe you've noticed, when you eat shrimps, maybe you've seen that there are a lot of abdominal appendages in the carapace, like under the belly. So that's where the female shrimp wraps up the eggs for protection until they are hatched. When they hatch, you will see baby shrimps.
At what age do Caridina shrimp start breeding?
They grow quite quickly and typically reach maturity at 2 to 3 months old. That's when they can start breeding. Another fun fact that I would like to share, there are mainly 2 broad types of Caridina shrimps. One type is landlocked. Another type is migratory. Landlocked, as the name suggests, refers to shrimp that will spend their entire life in a stream somewhere on land, while the migratory one will migrate to the sea at some point of their life. The eggs they lay will take the form of plankton, then flow into the sea. Caridina shrimps live their whole life from birth to death in freshwater streams. Therefore, it is quite important for us to protect the streams and try not to disturb the stream ecology.
When we're observing them, we shouldn't disturb them and avoid touching them, or else the stream ecology will be disrupted.
Yeah, appreciating with your eyes should be more than enough. I hope to see more Caridina shrimp in the future.
Yeah, I see one too.
A bit brownish.
It seems to be coming out.
It hasn't moved for a long time.
Really? It looks like it's moving a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like it wants to come out.
It does, right?
Do you think it knows that we're watching it? Does it know?
No, I don't think so. But that's exactly why we shouldn't go any further
He's
than we are now.
coming!
Sorry.
Oh yeah, look.
Hey,
it's
there
coming
he
out.
is.
He's coming out!
It's moving really fast.
The crab is moving!
Moving at lightning speed.
Is it shifting its location?
It crawled under the leaf.
Yeah, it's found a hiding spot.
Too
It's
bad,
hiding.
Too bad. It's coming out again!
Are crabs commonly seen in rivers and streams?
Yeah, they are. Crabs actually have a very high sense of concealment. We always urge visitors not to enter the streams because crabs get frightened easily. That's why I think it is far better to watch them on land where we can really take our time to observe them fully.
Yeah, that way we won't disturb the crabs or drive them to escape. We
Sure.
can watch them longer.
Is it leaving the water so it can search for food, or is it just out for a stroll?
To relax?
To get away from its partner?
Maybe it's looking for a safe spot to hide from any potential enemies. Looking for a safe house, something like that. Let's take a look on both sides, especially since there's a stream flowing under here. We can look under the trees on both sides to see if we can spot any non-hypodomon hongkongensi.
Should be easy. You said it was red, right?
However, you should remember to pay very close attention as they always hide themselves in sneaky, hard-to-spot places. They might be hiding under the leaves or in between the rocks and stones, so you really have to observe closely. Binoculars are the best for this.
So we're mainly looking for something red?
Actually, they could also be brown, so you really need to look carefully. They are semi-terrestrial stream crabs. Therefore, they can stay some distance away from the river.
Apart from them being red, is there any other way we can identify them?
They are thick and bulky, kinda shaped like a small pebble or stone. You're looking for something that is quite round and smooth. They're really pebble-like, which is quite fascinating. Freshwater crabs are usually nocturnal, but you might see them in daytime as well. We just need to pay more attention, especially when we are in close proximity to the water. Then you might just catch sight of them.
I'd like to know why they're called Nanhai-Podamon. Is it because they're from Nanhai?
The name Nanhai was given to them because they were discovered at the southern coast of China. The whole genus are found there. This specific species is called Nanhai-Podamon hongkongensi. It was discovered in Hong Kong, therefore it was named after Hong Kong. You have to observe closely.
When I go hiking, sometimes I go past the rivers, but I never paid attention to the creatures there. However, Felix gave me a pair of binoculars and taught me how to really look for these creatures. To observe the places that I don't usually pay attention to and see the interesting animals that exist there. I have never imagined that such amazing things would be living just next to me. I think I have some misunderstandings about the rivers and streams in Hong Kong, as I usually hike instead of visit the streams. Usually the news we see about the streams are all about water pollution. However, after Felix's explanation, I realized a clean and uncontaminated stream environment can provide a wonderful living space for the creatures here. I believe that we have to put more effort on stream conservation and education, so that the clear springs of Hong Kong will not vanish completely.
I really love using the binoculars because I get this feeling when you are observing the creatures, you won't disturb them at all, and you can take your time watching them. Usually if I try to get close to them, they'll run away for sure. Watching them alongside Felix's professional explanation about their features, their habitats, and their names was really enjoyable. I know a lot of people like watching documentaries, but I think you should do more than just watch them. You should get out there and experience it for yourself. A documentary is a great learning tool, but I think this knowledge is the key to opening the door. It feels totally different when we go outside to experience it. This is the only way we can really connect with them. Like, when I was using the binoculars, I made eye contact with the animals. And then that would make me think, what is it thinking? What is it going to do? That experience is an amazing feeling. Apart from natural ecology, Longfushan Country Park also records human history. Among them, Pinewood Battery is a must-go spot.
It's the remains of the fortress. It was built by the British colonial government at the end of the 19th century. Because of its elevated terrain, it had become an important point of both coastal and air defense. In the defense of Hong Kong in 1941, the battery was severely damaged under Japanese air raids. It lost its combat effectiveness and was abandoned.
The ruins of Pinewood Battery are listed as Grade 2 historic building and has further developed into picnic sites. Former emplacements, magazine building, barracks are all still intact. There is a 400-meter Pinewood Battery heritage trail nearby, allowing visitors to learn about the battery's history.
This is the place for loading ammunition.
Ammunition?
Yes, this is quite spacious. How much ammunition do you think can be stored here?
Probably not that much, because the battery is large.
That's
one
right.
shell, maybe this big.
As big as you. Guess you could only fit one. I'm kidding, I don't
least
know.
10.
The ceiling's pretty low. It's hard to bend over like this.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm old and have back pain.
Wow.
This place has a
Sunshine.
long history. I think it was built in 1936.
How old?
Don't count. It'll get dark before you can. Like 80 years.
Around 80.
Yep. Is that not old enough?
Because the buildings of the Pinewood Battery are well preserved, when visiting Longfushan, we can also take the time to admire the traces of the past. I'll go inside for a second. Ah! But remember not to leave traces of yourself, though. Then we can protect Longfushan's unique environment and beauty. Making these episodes has trained me. I am now highly sensitive to the natural environment of Hong Kong. I'm able to sense any straw that's blowing in the wind, and I can catch sight of any creature.
Impressive. Yet apart from observing the wildlife, it's important to look for their traces.
Traces? Like what?
Well, for example, like their footprints, the fruits and plants they eat, and even excrement.
Excrement? Huh?
We should look for it and analyze it. We've got Wing here to be our tutor. Hello, Wing.
Oh, hi, hello.
When we are doing ecological investigations, sometimes we need to observe fecal matter. Let's have a look together.
All right, okay.
Looking for feces.
How?
Like this?
Actually, why do we need to find feces?
Well, because many creatures are afraid of humans, right? Some wild animals are really quite stealthy, especially mammals, so it's quite difficult for us to spot them in their wild habitat. We have to install certain specialized equipment, like night vision cameras, or look for any traces they might have left behind. For example, feces will let us know if they have passed by the area.
Is there a way to identify the different animals through their feces?
Yes, you can, because different types of animals will discharge different types of feces. So for example, the shape of it or color or even texture will differ. So just by looking at their fecal traces with our eyes, we can have an estimate on what or which kind of animal actually passed through.
I guess if you want to identify poop, you gotta know a lot about it.
Oh, there's some.
Already?
Let's have a look. Is it too soon?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So, what kind of animal is this from?
This is from the red muntjac. Yeah.
Oh, what's a red muntjac?
The red muntjac is the only deer species that's found in Hong Kong. It's native to the area and is quite widely distributed throughout the region. The environment of Longfushan is suitable for red muntjac deer.
Oh. How can you tell this is the feces of the red muntjac?
This feces is relatively easy to identify. The color is usually quite dark. You see, it usually presents as small pellets like this. Sometimes the pellets are clumped together, and sometimes they're in a loose pile. Yeah, if you look closely at them, you'll notice that the pellets are not fully round. They're sort of olive-shaped, or like these, teardrop-shaped ones.
Oh. What's the red muntjac deer like?
Red muntjac are timid and shy away from humans, so that's why it is very rare for us to spot them, even in the wild.
Oh. Hey, Wing, apart from finding feces on the ground, are there any other ways to discover the traces of animals?
Apart from looking for their feces, we can also try to find the routes they take through the forest. We call these animal paths. So these animal paths are the traces left behind by an animal, indicating its movement. Usually they're not that easy to spot, because the path can be hidden in grass or under the bushes. The plants could cover the path, so if you just pay more attention, you will notice there are a lot of animal paths around. In fact, I think that over there might be an animal path.
Oh.
Yep, this is an animal path. See that? By observing animal paths, we will know the animal's daily routes. Also, it is easier to spot other traces of animals if you are near the animal path. These traces include footprints and maybe claw marks. If you are lucky enough, you will even discover some animal hair.
Animal hair? Will we find any?
We can try.
You really want to find some?
Yeah, I can barely wait.
Oh, I found this. Do you know what this is?
Cool. Looks like a chopstick.
A chopstick, huh? Good guess. It's a piece of ivory.
Neither one is correct. This is a porcupine spine. Cool, right?
A
also
spine?
known, yeah, it's also known as a quill. Maybe you've heard of it before. And so here, why don't you have a look? It is a very hard surface. Can you see how hard it is? It's actually coated with keratin, which makes it hard. Yeah. But the inside of it is hollow. You can tell by knocking on it. Also, it's sharp on both ends, sort of like a javelin or a dart. That's why the porcupine is also known as quill pig. Neat, right?
It's the same.
That's right.
It is beautiful. I want to take it home. I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that. Put it down.
Okay, fine.
Good.
I would like to know the importance of porcupines to ecology.
Porcupines are herbivores. They feed on plant roots, leaves, twigs, and stems. They will also eat bark and fruits, so they help to facilitate seed dispersal, thus enhancing plant diversity in the region. Porcupines have very strong claws. They love turning the soil and digging in the dirt. Through the action of digging, the soil will be loosened up, so the soil will be more aerated, making it more suitable for plant growth. The burrows they dig are also very useful as they provide a resting spot or hiding place for many small animals other than themselves. Many animals like small mammals, rodents, the small-toothed ferret badger, even birds and snakes will use these porcupine burrows.
Wing, apart from porcupines, what other animals can be found?
The structure of the forests here is quite mature. Also, I've seen a lot of trees that bear fruits. I think there'll be masked palm civets hanging around.
Really? What's a masked palm civet?
The masked palm civet belongs to the civet family Viveridae. It has a very long and slender tail. The most distinctive feature is the black and white markings on its face. There's a white stripe stretching from the forehead down to the nose, with white spots around both eyes and ears. It's quite cool looking.
Oh? What does it eat?
The masked palm civet is omnivorous, mainly feeding on fruits. But it also has been known to eat insects and other small animals. For example, rodents and snails are also part of its diet.
I understand there are 55 mammal species in Hong Kong, with bats accounting for 25.
Yeah, that's correct. We can find bats pretty much everywhere in Hong Kong, from the city alleyways to the country hillsides, like the short-nosed fruit bat. It is an interesting animal that's about this big. Its fur is kind of brownish. Its most interesting feature is its ears. They have white edges. Also, they have really big, cute eyes. They kind of look like a puppy. So the short-nosed fruit bat is also known as the dog-faced fruit bat.
Oh, interesting. So what does the fruit bat actually eat?
The short-nosed fruit bat mainly eats fruits, nectar, and the leaves of some plants. These bats have good eyesight and sense of smell. They usually forage at dusk and at night.
Where do they inhabit?
They love to roost under Chinese fan palm trees.
Hey, there are 5 of them there.
Yeah, I see them. Why are they hiding under the tree?
Yeah, well, short-nosed fruit bats are different from other bats in that they have a special liking for Chinese fan palm trees. They tend to turn Chinese fan palm trees into their shelters instead of caves or the like. Yeah. Male fruit bats will chew the fronds of the Chinese fan palm. You can see the bite marks there.
Yeah.
They will chew on the veins of the palm fronds, letting the fronds collapse to form natural tents. That's where they live.
Is there a proportion of male and female fruit bats?
Usually there will be one male bat living by himself inside the little frond tent, but there's also a chance for the male short-nosed fruit bat to live together with a small cauldron of female bats and pups.
I don't think I could tell them apart. They look identical. Are they all brown and white like that? Are there any differences between males and females?
Male fruit bats are usually larger in size. Also, when you look closely, you might notice that around their neck, the males sport orange-tinted collars as well. Yeah. You can tell their differences by using the binoculars and getting a really close look at them.
Oh, you have to adjust the focus. The short-nosed fruit bat we saw today, if Wing hadn't told us to look, we wouldn't have seen them, because the little fruit bats are hiding under the palm leaves. You have to look closely with the binoculars to tell they are a group of bats. It was great seeing them. I never thought there were bats around. Apparently, there are even bats living in the city as well. My impression on bats has changed because I used to think bats are rarely ever seen. In the movies, they only appear in caves, somewhere dark or pitch black, wet and scary. It turns out they are actually around us.
I have seen photos of the short-nosed fruit bat before. They are adorable. But seeing them in real life, I mean actually seeing them with my own eyes, when we made eye contact, it was like, wow, I was fascinated. They were even cuter than I ever thought. Looking back on today's guided tour and choosing a special moment from it, the most impressive part was learning the importance of porcupines. I discovered they are very valuable burrow diggers, seed dispersers, and soil looseners. They have more roles than I have imagined. There are a lot of important things happening in nature that we as humans are just not aware of. So we should really try our best to protect these animals and systems and not adversely affect their habitat.